This is a recording of the very end of the community rule, in which the teacher of righteousness talks about the rule for the teachers and how he and his posterity should conduct themselves. The following are the rules for the teacher. He is to conduct himself by them in his relations with everybody, guided by the principles appropriate for each era and the value of each person. He is to work the will of Elohim according to what has been revealed for each period in history, studying all the wise legal findings of earlier times, as well as every statute applying to his own time. He is to discern the true sons of righteousness and to weigh each person's spiritual qualities, sustaining in his term the Bakarim in keeping his will and all he has commanded. In each case he will decide if a man's spiritual traits qualify him, allowing him to enter the Yahad if his virtue and understanding of the Torah measure up. By the same standards, he will determine each man's rank. The teacher must not criticize the men of the pit, nor argue with them about proper scriptural understanding. Quite the contrary, he should conceal his own Torah insight when among perverse men. He will save his criticism, which is established in true knowledge and righteous judgment, for those who have chosen the way, treating each as his spiritual qualities and the rules of the time require. He will establish them in knowledge by teaching them truly amazing mysteries. Then, if the secret way is perfected among the Yahadim, each will walk blamelessly with his companions, guided by what has been revealed to them. That will be the time of preparing the way in the desert. He will instruct them in every legal finding that is to regulate their works in that time and teach them to separate from every person who fails to keep from perversity. These are the rules of the way for the teacher in these times, as to his loving and hating, enduring hatred yet employing a concealing spirit for the men of the pit. He will leave them their wealth and profit like a slave does his master, presently humble before his oppressor, but a zealot for Elohim's Torah, whose time will come, even during the day of vengeance. He will work Elohim's will when he attacks the vile and exercises authority as he commanded, so that he is pleased with all that is done, as with the freewill offering. Other than Elohim's will, he will delight in nothing else, finding pleasure only in every word of his mouth. He will desire nothing that he has not commanded, ceaselessly seeking the Torah of Elohim. He will bless his Creator for all his goodness, and recount his loving kindness and all that is to be. He will bless him at the times ordained of Elohim with prayer, when the daylight begins its dominion, each time it returns, and when, as ordained, it is regathered into its dwelling, when night begins its watches, as he opens his storehouse and spreads darkness over the earth, and when it cycles back, withdrawing before the light, when the luminaries show forth from their sacred space, and when they are regathered into their lofty place, when the times appointed for new moons arrive, and when, as their season require, each gives way for the next. Such renewal is special for the Kadosh Kadoshim. Indeed, it is a sign that he is unlocking enduring loving kindness of each time these cycles renew as ordained, and so it will be for every age yet to come. On the first of each month in its season, and on Yomim Tov laid down as remembrances in their seasons, I will bless him in prayer, as a written rule forever. Yea, when each new year begins, and when its seasons turn, fulfilling the Torah in their decree, each day is set forth day after day, harvest giving way to summer, planting to the shoots of spring, seasons, years, weeks of years. When weeks of years begin, jubilee by jubilee, while I live, the commandment will be inscribed on my tongue. With praise as its fruit, the gift of my lips, I will loudly and skillfully sing my music for the esteem of Elohim only. My harp and my lyre, I touch the strings for his sanctity. I will lift up the flute of my lips with his Torah, its tuning fork. At break of day, and with the darkening of the sky, I will enter the covenant of Elohim, and when they all leave, I will recite his ordinances. Then I will set out the bounds of my path, never to turn back. By his Torah I will convict myself, my iniquity the measure, my sin as a statute engraved before my eyes. To Elohim will I say, O my righteousness, all to El Elyon, O, you seat of my goodness, spring of Da'at, and fount of Kodeshah, Kavod Hagadol, El Shaddai, Shekinah Leolam. What he teaches me, that will I choose. As he judges me, so will I delight. When first I begin my plan or journey, I will bless his name. When first I set out to turn to come back, when I sit down or rise up, when I spread my bed, then I will rejoice in him. I will bless him with the offering, the issue of my lips when in the ranks, before I lift hand to mouth to taste the ground's pleasant bounty. When fear or terror break out, in the place of dire straits or desolation, I will praise him. I will meditate on his miracles and powerful acts. I will contemplate his loving kindness, upon which I will rely all day long. Then will I know that the judgment of all the living reside in his hand, and all his works are truth. When I break out in depression, I will praise him, and in his salvation will I rejoice. To no one will I return evil for evil. I will go after a person only for good. For with Elohim resides the judgment of all the living, and he will compensate each one. My zeal will not be tarnished by a mean spirit, and I will not lust for riches gained through violence. I will not take custody of the evil multitude until the day of vengeance. Yet my fury will never subside from the men of the pit, and I will never be satisfied until righteousness will be established. I will not harbor a grudge of wrath against anyone repenting of sin, yet I will neither love anyone who rebels against the way. I will not comfort those smitten with sin until their walk is perfected, and I will give no refuge in my heart to Belial. Neither foolishness nor sinful deceit will be heard from my mouth. Neither fraud nor lies will be discovered between my lips. Rather, kadosh fruits will be on my tongue. Abominations will not be found there. I will open my mouth in thanksgiving. My tongue will always tell of Elohim's righteousness. The rebellion accounted to man and made complete by sin will I purge from my lips as futility. I will erase impure and devious designs from my mind. In counsel with wisdom, I will speak of knowledge, both prudence and wisdom, and I will wrap it close about me to preserve my faith in strict judgment, conforming to the righteousness of Elohim. I will mete out the rules by the proper measure to each time, dispense righteousness and loving kindness to those cast down, and strongly encourage the anxious. I will teach those in error about spiritual understanding, instructing complainers with wisdom, to answer in humility the arrogant of broken spirit, those who oppress, ridicule, speak vainly, and are zealous only for wealth. Elohim is the source of whatever goodness the worshipper may claim, and the truths that he possesses, hidden from others, are given only by Elohim. As for me, my justification is with Elohim. The perfection of my walk and the virtue of my heart are in his hand. My obedience is blotted out by his righteousness. My light shot forth from the fountain of his knowledge. My eye gazed on his wonders, and the light of my heart upon the mystery of what will happen. The one who holds out is my right-hand staff. My steps tread on the mighty rock. Nothing will make them retreat now. For the truth of Elohim is the rock on which I step, and his mighty power is what my right hand holds. From his righteous fount comes my justification, the light of my heart from his wondrous mystery. My eye has gazed upon the future and the hidden wisdom, even at all the knowledge and wise prudence that has been concealed from all humanity. The source of righteousness, the gathering of power, and the abode of radiance are hidden from the counsel of flesh. He has given all these to the Bakarim as an enduring possession. He has made them heirs in the bequest of the Kadoshim, and along with the Malakim, he has united them in the assembly, a Yahad commune. They are an assembly built up to be set apart, an enduring planting for all ages to come. As for me, I belong to evil humanity in the counsel of perverse flesh. My transgressions, evils, sins, corrupt heart, belong to the counsel of wormy rot with those who walk in darkness. Surely a man's way is not his own, neither can a person firm up his own step. Surely justification is of Elohim. By his power is the way made perfect. All that will be, he foreknows. All that is, his plans establish. Apart from him is nothing accomplished. As for me, if I stumble, Elohim's loving kindness will save me every time. If through the sin of the flesh I fall, my justification will be by the righteousness of Elohim that endures for all time. Though my affliction breaks out upon me, he will draw my soul back from the pit and bolster my steps on the way. Through his love he has brought me close. By his loving kindness he will provide my justification. By his righteous truth he has acquitted me, and through his exceeding goodness he will atone for all my sins. He cleans human defilement and disgrace from me, by his righteousness to the end that I praise Elohim for his righteousness, yea, the Most High for his radiance. Blessed are you, O Eli. Let's open the mind of your servant to knowledge. Establish all of his, your teacher's, works in righteousness. If it please you, raise up the son of your handmaiden to be among those chosen out of humankind, to stand before you forever. Surely, apart from you, the way cannot be completed, nor can anything be finished unless it pleases you. You teach all knowledge and all that will happen, and by your will it will all come to pass. Apart from you, there is no one else able to dispute your counsel, or fathom the design of your devotion, or penetrate the depths of your mysteries, or apprehend your wonders and surpassing power. Who can your radiance measure? Who indeed is man among your famous works? And how can he, born of a woman, be reckoned in comparison with you? Molded out of dirt, his body is worm food. He is just so much spit and chewed off clay, craving only more clay. Will the clay challenge the expertise of the one who designed the vase?